Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me at benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcast because People of Distinction is a nationally and internationally syndicated show because of listeners like you. Our shows are available across all major podcast distributors as well as YouTube. And if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. We appreciate the support. Continue to like and follow and sit back and strap in because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Renee Goodwin. And we're going to be discussing her amazing book, Gigi Cleans House, Learning Teamwork. Now it's available for purchase through Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, all the regular online book resellers. But people, you're going to want to head on over to her personal site, and that's gigistorybooks.com. First and foremost, before we go any further, that's Gigi, just the letters, gigistorybooks.com. There you're going to find more information on Renee herself, more information on this fantastic book, but people, get this. Renee is the absolute embodiment of a person of distinction, okay? She has been putting in some work, and in addition to this fun book, well, there's another 5 in this Gigi series, okay? It's called Gigi Life Lessons Storybook Series. But then there are 2 additional novels as well, completely separate from the Gigi series. That makes 8 in total, hopefully much more on the horizon. You're going to get all of that through gigistorybooks.com. And if that wasn't impressive enough, when you order books directly from her site, you're also going to get a personal autographed copy sent directly to you. I'm telling you, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, they're great. But why not personalize all of this and purchase it directly from gigistorybooks.com? And before we go any further, I want to take this opportunity and point out the fact that Renee was brought to our network, People of Distinction, today by one of the best publishing firms in the business. And people, you already know I'm talking about CITI of Books. So if you're a writer out there who has gone through their process and now you need help moving the masterpiece you just developed, well, have no fear. You got to head on over to CITI of Books. This is what they specialize in. So you got to check out cityofbooks.com and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And people, listen, it is a true pleasure to have Renee here on the line. Now, right there in the title, you know what we're talking about today, all right? We're going to talk about Gigi cleaning houses, and we're going to talk about learning the importance of friendship. Now, there's a lot more that goes into this fun, educational children's narrative, but I want you to know that this is something you need to add to your shelf, okay? We're sitting down with a talented author behind this delightful children's series where, we're following Gigi, who, can I just say, is a playful and just a delightful dog, actually based on a real-life Gigi, which we'll cover very, very shortly. But your children are going to love following Gigi. They're going to love learning from Gigi. And you as parents are going to love to showcase these books to your children because you understand not only is it educational, it's fun, but more importantly than anything else, it's safe content for them to consume. And there's a lot happening here, and Renee's got the answer to them all. So let's invite her here with us. First and foremost, Renee, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Benji. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, the pleasure is all ours, Renee. We're really looking forward to this. I think what you've done by comprising these books is remarkably impressive and something that, as a parent myself, I know I can get behind. And a lot of people listening in feel the same way, I'm sure. Renee, before we go into your fantastic book, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background.
Well, I live in Texas with my husband and my adult sons, and I recently have a grandson in my life that I've just enjoyed sharing the Gigi storybooks with him as well. Mm-hmm. I have a passion for education, so I am a teacher, engineer, a businesswoman, and an author. So I'm very blessed to be educated and to be able to share my intellect with others in all different ways.
Yeah. There you have it. Well, before we go into the book, I want to talk now because, as you mentioned, you're an educator through and through. So whether you're in the classroom or out, the education doesn't stop, right? The learning continues. Well, what inspired you to write not only this book, Gigi Cleans House, but more importantly, the series of books? Because, of course, Gigi takes on a lot of adventures. What inspired you to embark upon this journey?
Well, thank you for asking. Years ago, I've always wanted to write children's books, but life kind of took different paths. And then finally, in my later years, Gigi came into my life, and I just watched her antics one after another. And I just got so tickled watching her. And I really attribute it to divine intervention. Before you know it, I thought of all these stories and I wrote them in my head, and then I said, well, I had to go write them in the computer, which I did, and I thought, well, Renee, that's not going to do any good. So I reached out to a publisher, and they called me back and said, yes, we would love to help you with your books. And then that was the beginning of the series that I've so enjoyed.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit more about that series, and more importantly, about Gigi Cleans House. Tell us a little bit more about the book.
Well, in everyday life, like you mentioned, I do have Gigi and then her counterpart, Leo, which introduced the next book of the series, Gigi Meets Her Match, when she does meet Leo, who is of the same breed. They're Cane Corsos, so they're Italian Mastiffs. So they're large dogs, so they're actually large puppies. And by watching Gigi every morning, she helps me bring the laundry down to the laundry room, and she helps me make the bed, and on and on. And I just get the biggest kick out of her. But she will do anything for a treat. So she'll do one thing, and then I'll trade her for a treat, and it's really fun every day.
There you have it. I was telling Renee in the pre-screening call people about my dog and how he'll do anything for a treat as well. Although he's not as helpful around the house as Gigi may be. I want to talk about some of the lessons that are learned here because, of course, it's layered, it's dynamic, and, with this, we don't have to just solely keep to Gigi Cleans House. Let's open it up to the entire Gigi Life Lesson Storybook series. What are some of the lessons taught to children throughout your books?
Well, yes. So in Gigi Cleans House, we do learn teamwork, where I am the character. She calls me my Mrs. G, so that kind of gives her ownership. And so as time goes on, she learns to do this trick and this activity, and so on and so forth. And everybody kind of works together. And Gigi really thinks she's helping. And but the other books, Gigi sets sail, seeing the beauty of the world. Gigi thinks that just her backyard is the most wonderful thing in the world, which it is. However, she's then exposed to sailing and seeing all the different beauties of the world. And then she also works the honeybees. My husband and sons have been honeybee keepers for a long time. And so that gets Gigi out helping nature. She harvests the honey. In every book, I should mention that they all have vocabulary words that go with the context of the book, which I think is very important for children. So it broadens their vocabulary, as they also can then use those vocabulary words to do additional activities to kind of learn what Gigi's talking about.
I love it. People, again, the book is called Gigi Cleans House, Learning Teamwork. Now, in addition to that, like I mentioned, there are a lot of other books that you're going to want to check out. Plenty of other ones in this particular Gigi Life Lesson Storybook series, but also 2 additional novels you're going to want to check out. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but also GigiStorybooks.com to gather it all. Renee, next question that I'd love to go into as we start to close out of this book and transition here, because you have a number of other titles that I'd love to quickly go into. But what would you say was a highlight for you in writing this book? Or if not a highlight, maybe something that surprised you that you weren't anticipating?
Well, I believe it's believing in myself and taking that leap of faith to go forward and not just stopping with writing the book in my mind, but putting it on paper, reaching out to publish the book, coming up with the design graphics of the books. I do all of that. I take real life pictures of the puppies and then we draw them. From my engineering background, I'm able to draw. And then I have design graphic people to help me. Recently, I have Gabrielle Fleming that helps me do the design graphics, and we bring those pictures to life in the books. And it's very, very important to use bright colors for the children. They like the prime colors, and I think the Gigi Storybook do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Very vibrant, and they definitely are intriguing. And again, as a parent myself, I know all too well the importance of that vibrancy and really capturing the child's attention that way, because that's going to be the first thing that they notice before they can get to that fantastic storyline. You got to hook them with just the appearance, right? So you're onto something there, Renee. Yeah. I love it. I want to utilize a couple of minutes here to pay it forward in a sense. Renee, I'm curious about your writing process. Now, obviously, again, when we're talking about the Gigi Life Lesson Storybook series, those are all comprised and built around primarily your dogs. So you're able to see them and see how they react. Obviously, you're meeting that real life interaction with imaginary situations, but you have that to jump off of. Well, you have 2 additional novels that are completely separate. Talk to us a little bit more about your writing process and how you're able to develop these ideas and continue to stay fresh and imaginative.
Thank you for asking. With Gigi Cleans House and in most of the Life Lesson series, a lot of times I will repeat a sentence, like in the Gigi Cleans House, I say, Gigi, you are so funny. And Gigi, you are so funny. And as you read aloud, because they're great read aloud stories, the children later on, they'll tell their parents, oh, Gigi's so funny. And so that is a great learning tool that I use. And also, with my novels, I take my life experiences and I put them in fictional characters, and it gives me a voice that I may not have had in real life, but in books, I can create characters and I can have a voice and express feelings that I might have or I've had throughout my life that I would like to share with others.
Well, listen, I mentioned a number of times that there are 2 additional novels separate from this Gigi book series here. Talk to us, and really dealer's choice, Renee, because nobody knows the books as well as you do. Pick any one of those other additional novels and give us a brief synopsis about what to expect.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. The titles are A Love, A Life for Vaughn, where a woman has a love in her early life, but it gets misconstrued, and she goes on with her real life and then looks back and wonders, how could that have been? And then you have to wait to see if it does become in her later life. And the second novel I wrote, Living Past Shadows, is really fun because every other chapter I let the character Jody speak, but also she has a classic truck named Roy. And Roy, he gives his opinion of what Jody should be doing in every other chapter. So it's really kind of an interesting read, I think. I enjoyed writing from both perspectives. What Jody should be doing, Roy is saying, but then Jody's not doing it, and it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. People These books are so educational. They're so fun. And listen, the Gigi Life Lesson Storybook series are educational for your children. You want to get these other two novels entertaining as well, but also it packs a punch, right? And also has something that we as adults can take from it as well. As we close out here, we know about your past. We know about these wonderful books. Well, Renee, I'm focusing now on future adventures. Is there more that's on the horizon? And if so, can you tease any upcoming adventures for Gigi in this series, or maybe any other novels that you're planning on writing?
Yes, I can tell you I have many Gigi storybooks to publish, and right now I plan on publishing one about the seasons of the year. And Gigi, every night, she brings in a leaf. In Texas, which we have the leaves starting to fall, so she knows if she brings in a leaf, she'll get a treat. And I don't know why she started doing this, but she does. And so I will teach the different seasons of the year in one of her books. And one of my third novel I'm working on is Big Girls Don't Cry. And I'm anxious to finish that. Life keeps getting distracted, and so you have to just kind of buckle down and tune everybody out and get down to work with these things. So I do hope that Gigi needs to teach the children about colors. She has so many things to teach the children. And like we say, children love to learn from Puppy rather than you and me telling them about their do's and their don'ts.
Don't I know it? I know that all too well, Renee. People, I'm telling you, these are all magnificent books you want to add to your shelf. The education doesn't stop because there's more on the horizon that you're going to be able to look out for. But at the time being, we got 8 books here to keep you occupied. So once again, the one we discussed today is called Gigi Cleans House, Learning Teamwork. But bear in mind that there are another 5 in the Gigi Life Lesson Storybook series. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, GigiStorybooks.com. Head on over there, pick up your copies, and also look into the 2 additional novels that she has written. Like I said, there's something here for everyone. Go on over there and check it out. Renee, this has been a true pleasure, an absolute delight. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
I appreciate you having me, and thank you for sharing all of Gigi's life lessons with others.